Right.
I forgot to tell you that, Shine, because I forgot it.
And where to access it again?
If you go to YouTube and you type Cali CS.
Oh, it just came on.
Oh, YouTube, Callie CS?
Cali CS is all you have to type.
All right.
And if you press enter on that, it should pop up with the Cali College Computer Science there.
Okay, give me a second. Okay. And that will cover all the classes.
Right. Like yours will look different from your side. This is what it looks like from my side, but out here under the post is the class session from last week.
Okay.
So the YouTube video is out there.
Okay.
There's actually even a shortened version of the Windows 10 workshop we did back in March.
Okay. Cool.
So if you want to watch old ones, you can.
Okay.
There's Google Sheets and Forms.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe that's when we first started recording. Oh, no. Here's the Excel Basics.
Okay.
I could do it in the homeschool ones. Nobody was signing on.
Did you say go to YouTube and type in Callie CS?
Cali CS. What did I say?
You said YouTube.
Facebook.
Well, I thought that was strange that Facebook popped up.
Sorry.
It's Facebook.
It's Facebook.
Yeah.
So we have to get a invite then?
If you're not on Facebook,
Well, if you go to Facebook, I know they say yes, that you need to find a friend or whatever.
You don't have to. I think it would let you not have any friends on Facebook. But
Okay.
yeah, and there's Word Basics webinar I did out there for homeschool students.
Okay.
Excel formulas workshop.
Okay.
I don't know when I started recording those. But
Okay.
everything's recorded from now on, so it's hard to remember everything. So if you want to go out there and watch it again, then it's available.
Okay. So it's Facebook and then look at Cali CS.
Right. Yeah, I think if you just type facebook.com /Cali CS, it finds it.
Yeah.
Like that. So you can do it right up there in the where the website name goes.
All right.
Okay, last time we talked about the change in the look of our interface. So now we're going to get into a little bit more of the kind of the behind the scenes and so forth working with it. Now we're going to bring up some applications. And so down here where it says type here to search in this bar, I'm going to click down there and I'm going to type Word. Remember, that's the quick way to find an application. And you should maybe have Word 2016 unless you got your computer from home. And if you got your computer from home, just run anything. So I'm going to click Word 2016. Now I'm also going to run Excel. Hi.
hello. Hi. Hello.
And I'll type Excel. If you don't have Excel, again, run anything.
Oh, wait a minute, I lost you.
Click down here in this little search box again and type Excel.
Oh, okay.
I have a message that says Microsoft Word isn't your default program for viewing and editing documents. Do you want to select the file types that Word should open? Yes. or no?
Just say no there.
Okay. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go in and change my mouse to huge again. Do
you need a mouse or anything, or no? Still good? Okay.
And then a blank thing.
Anything, yeah. A blank's fine. And I'm going to type, another one I'm going to type is paint. And hopefully you have some kind of paint. You probably see under apps it says Paint 3D, says paint. Choose either one. Now you should have 3 applications open of some sort. Now to go back and forth between them, I'm going to show you the most common methods to do it. There are other techniques. But down here in the bottom, if you have them open, they'll have a little blue bar underneath them. And you can click that particular icon to go over to that application. My wife, when she started using Windows, would close whatever she was working on so she could then go to something else. And that's fine if you're done with it. But if you're not done with it, there's much better ways to go back and forth between them. If I want to go to Word, I just click Word. And again, if you don't have Word and Excel and you brought something else up, this same technique works with whatever you have brought up. That's why I was saying it doesn't matter what you bring up. And to go back to Paint, I just click the Paint icon there. Pretty good on, if you're not, holler and I'll come take a look. Now another way to switch back and forth to them, and I like this way pretty good, is you got a key that says ALT. That's your Alt, and it should be to the left of your space bar or to the right of your space bar. If you hold down the Alt and then you press your Tab, you'll see this pop up with all the different windows you have open. Now, at this point, you can keep pressing your Tab, and it'll go between your different applications.
That's pretty cool.
And then when you lit up on the tab, and lit on both keys actually, it'll switch to that application. That's the usual way that I use to switch between applications. So again, I press my Alt, Alt Tab, and keep doing the tab. And I have different windows open in you, but don't worry about that. To get an Alt Tab, everybody got the Alt Tab to work? Okay. Those are the 2 most common ways to get those to work. Now, let's say you have something that you want to close. You, of course, can click the X here. And I'm not sure what this will do to the video. I think the video will go blank, but that's okay. You're just seeing it here. If you hold down the Control, Alt, and then you press your Delete. So you hold down your Control, and you're holding down your Alt, and then you're going to press Delete.
Oh, yeah.
This will pop up with this this option right here. And there's a Task Manager. So if you click Task Manager, use that all the time? Yeah, because if you get something hung up and it just won't close, this is where you go to close it.
And you go to Task Manager.
Task Manager. Yeah. So if you hold down your Control and your Alt, and the Control's right here, and the Alt's right here, and then Delete is up there. So go ahead and hold down these 2. There you go. And then click Task Manager. We got that? Okay.
I got it.
You got it.
Already got it. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm trying to find that orange mouse pointer I had last week.
Now this actually tells us quite a bit. This is especially true with Google Chrome. It seems like when I'm using Google Chrome, sometimes it just goes off and doesn't come back for whatever reason. You see over here, it has a Google Chrome for me, Excel, and Word. Over here in the CPU and memory, this will tell you why your computer's going really slow. You can click CPU here, and this will sort it by the processes that are really taxing your computer. You can also click by memory. Now, some of these you don't want to kill. Like desktop window manager, that would probably like crash Windows if you did, I'm guessing. Disk and network, I never really had to click very much. But again, if you click up here, it'll sort by that. It'll put the most heavily consuming one here at the top. Okay. Now, if you come over here and just click by the name, it'll click by name. And we're going to kill Word ungracefully. So if I have this, if I click Word, you should see it highlighted, and you click the End Task down here. And now Word is gone. Everybody successfully kill something? No? Okay. So do pull down your control with your Alt, and then press Repeat. Okay, and then click on Task Manager. Okay. So like if we want to bring down, it's still running. See if you click down there. Then if you click Word up here, and you click End Task, then that'll shut down Word. Okay. So that's how you can bring it on an application. Now, Word we could have brought down normally. It's a lot easier to click the X in the upper right-hand corner, bring it down. But if you got something that's really seems to be won't respond, that's how you can bring it down. Sometimes, if you scroll through here, depending upon your version of Windows, you'll see a lot of other applications that are running. We talked last time, I think we talked about last time, about Norton and McAfee. Anybody got those virus protection? Yeah, sometimes those are like viruses. They sit there and will consume everything on your laptop. And you're wondering, why is my laptop going so slow? If you're wondering if it's McAfee or Norton, in some cases, some of them don't allow you to do it. But some of them you can come here and you can kill those and see if that was what was slowing down your computer. That'll tell you whether that was running real slow. Sometimes you can disable it for a time period. Like you can come down here and you click Norton or McAfee, and you can say disable for an hour. And then if your computer's running really fast at that point, you can pretty well guess that's what's really slowing your computer down.
If you find that's true, though, what's your option then?
The one I use at home is Avast. Oops. Let me leave that up and running. So avast.com. And this is a free antivirus. It'll ask you to not sure if what the correct word is, renew itself every year. Basically, just click a button and say, yeah, I want to keep using it for free. When you come here, you got your home for a home here. If you click there, you see there's an ultimate, premier, internet security, free antivirus. If you go to the free antivirus, this is where you can go and you can download it for free. I like Avast. There's another one called AVG. I don't even know what that stands for. I don't like AVG because it pop up when I'm in the middle of working. It pop up with a little box, and I don't like that. I don't like startling things. Avast is a lot more behind the scenes and not so intrusive. They do have a paid version of Avast. Like my wife, I don't go many places at home besides work. I answer emails and so forth. But my wife goes all over the place. She goes to Pinterest. She goes to Etsy. Everything under the sun seems like she's going to. But she also does her banking. And she got a virus at one point, or she thought she had a virus. I don't think she actually did. It was popping up with a display saying you've been infected, or I forget what it said. She was all freaked out. And because she does her banking on that. And so I bought a premier version of Avast for her computer. I said, this should protect you against everything that popped. Now she comes in every other minute and says, Avast is coming up now and saying I shouldn't go to this site, or, it could block this. Well, don't go there. So she's still coming in and asking me a lot of questions on that, but she's protected. Okay, so that's Avast. It will not take away every resource on your computer. It doesn't do you any good to be protected if you can't use your computer. So McAfee, and all those that run really consume your computer, Avast doesn't. I don't even know if AVG is still around. I'm assuming they are. AVG. AVG is another free one. It says it's probably not bad, but like I say, I don't like the fact that it. And the reason why they do it for free is because they offer, the full protection one too. So that's where they make their money. Okay. So we talked about how to bring down an application. Talked about how to switch back and forth between them. Now we're going to bring up Word. So go into Word. Hopefully everybody has some kind of version of Word. What I did is I clicked down here in the search blank, and I just typed Word, and then I clicked it. We're also going to bring up Notepad. So click down that search box down there and type Notepad. So Notepad. And everybody should have Notepad no matter what version of Windows. And then you see you have your dash up here, which is minimize. You have your little square or rectangle, whatever that is, it's maximize. And your X, which is close. So if you want it to be full screen, you click that little the square, little rectangle, and that'll maximize it. So that'll take up your entire screen. So everybody got Word and Notepad up at least? Okay. Let's see. Dear Mom.
Which one do you want to type in?
Either one. Hope everything is fine. All is well here. My mother's passed away, but I always use her as my example. All is well here. Love, David. It doesn't matter what you type. Now, if I typed this in a raw application, you typed it in Notepad when you meant to type it into Word, or you typed it into Word when you meant to type it into Notepad, or meant to put in Excel or whatever. Windows has a feature that allows you to transfer data, allows you to transfer text from one application over to another. So it's a really nice feature. If whatever you have typed, if you don't have all of it typed, don't stress. Just whatever you have typed. If you highlight it, now how you highlight it is with your mouse. You click and hold down with your left mouse button and drag, and you'll see it become highlighted. Now every package has this, where there's a way to copy it. So you do edit, and you choose copy. Now even more than that, see how there's a Control-C right beside it? If you don't have an edit copy, if you still highlight it and do a Control-C, that'll copy it to something called a clipboard. So anyway, I'll do an edit copy. Now if you go to your other application, remember how you go to your other application is you go down to the very bottom, and if you click Word, or you can do that Alt-Tab to switch over to Word. Now over here in Word, it's a little bit different. The picture looks different, but there's something called Paste. And if you choose Paste, it'll copy that word's over.
Where did you find your paste at?
In Word, mine was Paste. If you got an older version of Word on your laptop, you might have a menu that says Edit, Paste. Did you have an older one with the Edit, Paste?
This Word doesn't have an edit up at the top. It has home, insert, design, layout.
Oh, it doesn't.
I don't see it. Well, on home, maybe on home.
Yeah, be into your home tab if you have tabs. Oh, that's that new one where you. Yeah, there you just click the paste button.
Oh, where's the paste button?
Just that right
Oh,
there.
okay. I usually use the Control-A, Control-C button.
And that's a good way. Because not all packages will have that, but all of them have it built in. Because it's a Windows feature. It's not a feature like specific to an application.
I never even noticed that paste button before.
Oh, yeah. What she's talking about is that after you've highlighted something, Control-C copies the selected item to the clipboard. So no matter what you're in. Control-V pastes it into the application, into the program. There's other ones, but those are the two you should, if you're going to use a lot of different applications, those are the two you should know, should have written down.
Really makes it nice if you're writing letters and you want to move text around.
Right. Yeah, there's a cut too that's useful for that. But usually I do a Control-C and I go and I paste it and then I'll go delete it at the old location just so I don't lose it. Now I said that it's everywhere. If I were to go over to here and I got a post here. This is in Facebook. You don't have to be in Facebook, so don't worry about it. But I still have that on my clipboard. If I click down here in this post and I do a Control-V, it puts it there. I won't put that. People will wonder about me. If I'm over in Excel and I'm here and I do a Control-V, puts it there. Some applications it probably doesn't make sense. Like if I'm over here in Paint and I do a Control-V, Nothing, because it doesn't make any sense there. So I guess there are limitations on it. It doesn't put it as an image. Was everybody able to copy something and paste it over in another application? One really nice feature of Windows 10 is they've extended that. It doesn't work on every application, but if I hold down my Windows button, that's one that looks like a little flag next to your Alt. If I hold down my Shift, and then I do an S. So we're going to demonstrate this. Go ahead and click the little browser icon you have. If you have Google Chrome, it looks like I don't know what it looks like.
What's it supposed to be?
A little circle with different colors. If you have Google Chrome.
Windows, Shift, and S?
Right.
Oh,
So if you bring up your browser, if you don't have it Google Chrome, you might have Firefox, you might have IE, you might have this blue-looking E down here.
it brought up a little cursor so that I could outline something like that.
Right.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
That's what it's supposed to do.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So like right here, I got this. Let's say I want to capture this this tiger here.
Okay.
I like that tiger. If I hold on my Windows, my Shift, and my S, it kind of grays your screen.
Right.
And now if I click in the upper left-hand corner with my left mouse button and drag it down, it'll draw a rectangle. And when I lit up on that, it doesn't feel like it's done anything. But what it's done is it's copied that logo to the clipboard, that picture. This is screen capturing. And now if I go over to Word and I hit the paste, it'll bring that in. That was a really nice feature that they added in back, Windows 7, Windows... But back then they called it a clipping tool. They put it into keystrokes because people didn't want to go in the clipping tool anymore. They just said, I want to press some buttons to be able to do that. Did you get yours, Scott?
Could you do that with your pictures?
Yes. You can do it anything.
If you went to photo, you do that, and then you could put it inserted in a letter or whatever you do.
Whatever you want. And then you click, like if you want to capture this, you click up here in this corner and hold down and drag. Then when you lit up, it copies that to the clipboard.
Okay.
So then you can go over to Word and paste that in.
I haven't done that.
It's a nice, you got your, so if you want to capture something,
So what would,
bring up the IE. Okay, now hold down your Windows key here, your Shift, and then your S for select. And now, I'm going to try to do it with mouse. But if you click up here in the corner and drag it down, we'll never get touch pads. There you go. Then you lit up. It'll copy that to your clipboard. So now if you go to Word, and you put wherever you want to put it at, and then you click your paste, it'll paste it in. Perfect. Did you?
No, I didn't do something. Okay, control.
Go over to your Word, or Word. Chrome, your browser.
Okay, over here.
Okay, we're going to capture that Google logo. So hold down your Windows and your Shift, and then ask for select. Now kind of grazed out, so now click in the upper left-hand corner with your left mouse button and hold down and drag.
Right,
Yeah, click right there, and click and drag. And go up. Let's do it again. Do a Control,
the windows?
or the Windows, yeah.
No,
Windows Shift S. And now click to the upper left of the G.
Just right above the G.
Right. And click and hold down to the left mouse button and drag to the right and then down.
With the left?
The left mouse button. And to the right and down. Over to the right.
Just keep going.
Or over here.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And now see how that's got the box around it?
Yeah.
Lit up. Now go over to Word. And you can paste that in. So do your Control V. V.
Oh, how come I got so many?
You held down the V. But that's okay.
I put it on the wrong area. Let's see. Where am I at?
Okay, we're going to capture the Google logo. So hold down your Control, or Control, I think you said that.
Yes.
That and that's
Okay.
Now kind of raise it up.
Changes it to the, for that. Is that right?
Then click there and hold down to the left mouse button and drag to the right and down. There you go. Lit up. And then go over to your Word.
Gotta go down here.
Right. I don't see Word there. Or no, get one nice bad. Yeah. And then paste it.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh.
See you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I found out that I can do an orange mouse on mine too.
Oh, you found out how to do that? Well,
It's inverted. It changes the mouse to show up on better on different colors.
oh, okay.
I just accidentally found that last time, but I didn't know where it was. So
Yeah.
I messed with it.
I'm still learning a lot about Windows myself. Every time I hold a class, I learn something myself. That's the neat part about it.
It's pretty complicated.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the snipping tool with the scissors
Mm-hmm.
and what we just did?
Nothing.
Nothing?
They took the snipping tool that was separate and they embedded it as just part of the operating system.
Okay.
So no matter where you're at, if you're on a web page,
Well, I guess with the snipping tool, you can save it as a JPEG.
you can with this too.
Okay, how do you do that? I would have.
Let me see if I find it.
Okay.
I'm gonna cover that next time. But
Oh, anyway, it's not that important.
well, I think I got it right.
Oh,
Okay.
so we could take it to this, all this.
I still don't have copies for everybody.
Oh.
That would be really, if you had Windows 11, you had, and if you had about picture.
And I'm gonna give everybody copies of this next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then written control V.
Well, I'm always snitching stuff online.
Oh.
Now this is just a little bit of the shortcuts available.
Wow.
There's quite a few. Well, yeah, I thought I could find it. I must have it on another sheet. I'll get it for next time.
Okay.
Now there's a whole bunch of shortcuts and so forth.
Is that the same, to the one you passed out before?
Were you in that class? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
sheet, put back all the little.
Shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so that's how you can capture a part of your screen and paste it in something else. Now, if you capture something, if I do my Windows Shift S and capture this right here, you can go into Word, but that would actually make sense to put into Paint. So if you come and paste it there, you can paste that in. There's other ways of capturing a screen, and we're going to look at the popular ones. Okay, go to some application. Doesn't matter what. Go to your browser. That'd be a good one. In my case, it's the Google Chrome. You might have Microsoft Edge. You might have Microsoft Internet Explorer. You might have Firefox. There's different ones. If you simply press your print screen button. Now, your print screen button on these computers, if you got one of these, is PRTSC. On your laptop, it might actually say print screen.
I don't see it on this, but I'm probably not looking at it right.
It's oftentimes in the upper right-hand corner. Oh, you got one of mine? Or one of the schools? It's on the bottom next to the Alt key.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see it.
You see it? So if you press the print screen, and now if you go into Word, if you paste it, you're going to see it pastes, well,
Okay. It takes the whole screen, doesn't it?
it should. Mine didn't.
Yeah, mine did. I think it did.
Let me try it again. Print screen. And paste. That is bizarre.
It did. So I have another question. Is it no, I was looking for it to be like a JPEG that you could resize, and I don't think it is.
It can in Word.
You can in Word.
Yeah.
Okay, but not in the Paint.
Probably not in Paint, but I wonder why mine isn't working. I don't know. Is everybody's working except for mine?
Mine works.
Prints? Why isn't my print screen working? Yours worked?
Huh?
Yours worked?
Whole page, but half.
Print screen. Let me try Control V. My clipping tool stuck. Print screen. Well, I don't know the answer to that. But print screen, what it should do is it should capture your entire screen, and then you can paste it wherever. Mine isn't working. It just keeps copying the same image.
I was able to copy and paste on my laptop into Sorrell's Paint Shop.
Yeah, print screen always works. It shouldn't not work. Let me try to get something else on clipboard. Control C.
Oh, I got it into the wrong one. I was doing Word. Not the real Paint.
Okay, I got something else on the clipboard now, so that's good. Let me try it again. Press my print screen button. Well, I don't know what I've done to my print screen button, but
Well, I went to that little paint easel and put it there
Mhm.
and it popped up the whole screen.
yeah, it should. That's exactly what it should do. Or if you go to Word, it should pop it up into Word.
It does spell in half a page.
I suppose because of the how big it is. Yeah. Now, if you do bring it into Word, you're asking about resizing. If you click the image, you'll see little circles appear around it. And then if you put your left mouse button on one of those circles and click and hold down, you should be able to move it back to make it smaller.
Really?
Now, I probably won't be able to show it to you, but let me go ahead and type it since my print screen isn't working. It's called that on some computers, or it actually says like print screen, or might say print screen. There's some kind of combination. That's the button I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you press that, it copies the entire screen. So that copies the entire screen. Which means you can paste that into Word, you can paste that into Paint. Can't paste it into probably Excel, but that'll do that. Now, if you press your Alt print screen, copies only the current application or current program that's running. What I mean by that? Well, if I have my browser here, my browser is taking up the entire screen, isn't it? But as you pointed out, when you took that in Word, you can only see half the page. If you click the little squares up here and you resize this,
I'm not gonna have it down too long because it's going crazy.
your computer's going crazy? I'll take a look at it here in just a second. Yeah, I don't know why I can't grab that. There it is. Okay, so I got this right. It's smaller, isn't it? If I press print screen, it'll grab everything. I don't want it to grab everything. So if I hold down my Alt key and I press my print screen, in theory, when I go over to Word, well, now it's working. Why is Alt print screen working? But it just copies just that application, just what you have focus on.
Oh, that's been smooth.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice feature because if you're having to take something into Paint or whatever package you're using and you're having to cut and slice all of it off, then that.
Well, if I want to make something else, urgent. Well, how's it done?
Is it working now?
I guess, but it just kept going and going and going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kept going and going and going until I hit over here.
Key must have got stuck if I had to guess.
Okay.
I don't think my print screen's actually broke. I think just maybe the key's stuck, or I can't get it unstuck or something. But now I'm wondering, now that my Alt print screen worked, if my print screen will work. So let me go capture something. I'll press my print screen button, paste it. I did a control. It still is not working.
It actually will go into Excel.
Will go into Excel? It's probably a floating image, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be in any particular, you know.
This is crazy.
Oh. Yeah, this is okay. It worked when I took it in here, but it doesn't work in Word. That's interesting. Is yours going crazy again?
Yeah, it is. I just, yeah.
What? Oh yeah. You were holding down tab, right?
Holding that, Alt and Tab.
Tab. You don't hold down the tab. You just do the Alt and then do your tab over and over. Push. There you go.
Oh, okay. That's why I probably held down the Alt and pressed it.
Right. Yeah, when you hold down on it, usually it repeats in a lot of applications. Maybe not all. I don't know what's going on with Word, but print screen isn't broke. My faith in Windows is still there. Now, over in Word, this isn't a Word class, but in case you're wondering, there's some way to have multiple things on your clipboard. Like if I do this, if you use Word, there's this little box right here. And if I click that, then you can have multiple items here. This says I got pay. No, I've only got one. I don't know.
Now, does that work in 7? Do you know?
It's specific to Word. It's not specific to the operating system.
Okay.
The operating system by default, I don't think has that capability. Now that's a nice way to exchange information between applications. Anybody work on the web, any web pages where you have to input data? Some of them don't have an edit copy and edit paste feature. And if you highlight it and do Control C and then you go to something else, do a Control V, it works. So that's fantastic to remember because it saves you. Okay.
You were talking about having more than one thing on the clipboard. I kind of missed how you managed to do that without erasing what you just copied.
If you type clipboard,
Okay. It'll tell me how to do that?
I don't know. That's why I was just seeing if it was here. Doesn't look like it. How you would do it if you were in Word. See if I had this showing here, and I had that. I'd do a Control C. What? Control C. See how it's putting all these different items over here on the side? That's how you can have multiple items on the clipboard in Word. And so if I want to come down here and I want to paste something, you see how there's an option here? I click hi, paste it, what, paste it, hi, my image, hi. So you can choose multiple things.
That's cool.
It is. And I keep looking to see if this is part of Windows 10 because I want that feature. I grade a lot of discussion forums in teaching, and I type the same thing over and over. Like they don't respond to 2 students. So I type, you did not respond to 2 students, that's why you lost the points. And you might think, well, just copy it. I can copy it, but then if the next one's a little bit different wording, then I have to type something else in. So then it's a pain. So I'd like to have like 10 different things because it resorts down to like 10 things that they do wrong, and then paste it as I'm going along to simplify my job. But as far as I can see, Windows 10 doesn't have that yet, like Word. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at some files on your computer. Down here in the bottom, and I'll have those of you who are using a Kali computer, I'll have you go into this a special way. But it looks like a folder down here. On the people that are using a Kali computer, right-click on that and choose Pictures. You'll have different images in me. For those of you who brought your own computer, just click it.
To click what now? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Oh, this thing looks like a file folder down here. Now, not everybody has that. I don't know the pattern behind this. If you do not have that, if you click the little Windows flag down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you might see a File Explorer here. If you don't see it in either one of those places, if you click down here in the search and you start typing File, you'll see File Explorer. That drives me nuts how every computer seems like it's different. Like some of you didn't have obviously what you're saying, you didn't have a little folder down here, did you? And some of you, when you click here, didn't have the little file folder here. But hopefully everybody, when you click the search box here and start typing file, you'll see it. Okay, but you should see a window up. Maybe it looks something similar to this. Doesn't have the images here. This is from the game development class. In case you're wondering, I don't necessarily like Pink Panther and so forth. They're just good for game development images. Over here, you may see some folders. They'll be different, perhaps, on your computer than mine, especially if you brought your computer from home. Across the top here, we have File, Home, Share, and View. Mine's currently on Home. Over here, you'll see folders. If you think about a folder like in a filing cabinet, a folder you put pieces of paper in, don't you? Same idea here. On a computer, you have your folder that you put programs in, like your applications. You put Word documents in, Excel, so forth. Now, and again, this is different based upon different computers. So, but do you see one that says, well, everybody should have a documents? Do you see a folder that says documents? Okay. If you click the documents there, and I clicked it there, it'll change my view here. This will show all the folders you have inside that folder. This would be like if you had one of those file folders you carry with you, and you put the individual folders inside of it. So you can put folders inside of folders. This is a way of arranging your data. Now, do you have much under your documents? Probably not, right? Some of you may. You see over here in this white space? Right-click on your mouse in the white space. Now, down here at the very bottom, you see there's a new option. So choose the new. And once you put your mouse over that, you should see a folder option. And so go ahead and click the folder. Now mine came up and it says new folder and 2 inside of parentheses. Yours probably just says new folder, or it says something to that regard, right? Assuming it's still blue and you haven't pressed any buttons or clicked outside of it, go ahead and type a name. Like I want to keep track of recipes. After you get done typing it, press enter. And you should see the folder name says recipes. If it doesn't, let me know.
That's one thing that screenshot stuff is really good for, is capturing recipes off of the internet.
Right. Yeah, and then you can before today's done, I'll go Google that, because it's just like right there. When you do a certain key combination, it not only captures it, but then saves it into a folder. But you say the clipping tool actually saves as JPEG directly.
Yeah. It gives you the option to name it and put it wherever you want to.
Okay, so that
I
probably.
didn't know how to do a print screen. I didn't know what to do with it or how to do it, so I accidentally learned how to do the clipping tool.
Clipping tool's nice. They added it in Windows 7, I know. Did it have it before that, or?
7's when I started, so I don't know.
Anybody get a folder of some sort?
Yeah, yes. I just thought there was a bunch of us ladies in here that probably like recipes, so.
I like recipes, obviously. Now, let's say you pressed enter before you could type the name, and that's real easy to do. Sometimes I'll click outside of it. Sometimes I won't get it changed. If the folder you have over here, if you right-click on it, whatever it's called. So if you right-click on it, this brings up something called a context-sensitive menu. And what that means is items that are specific to whatever you right-clicked on. And you see that there's a rename option. If you choose the rename, then it'll make it blue again, and you could type like my recipes. Now you can put spaces in there. You don't have to have it all together like I just showed. I have a real hard, bad time. I love Facebook for this. I don't get on Facebook very much, but I love Facebook for this. I have all my family images up there, pictures and so forth. If the fire burns my house down tonight, we're set picture-wise. I got them all up on Facebook. You know, Facebook wants to sell them. I don't care. They think they're of value. I don't think anybody wants to look at anybody in my family, but part of the problem with my images at home is they're like all spread out all over the place. And so there's no organization. If you looked on my computer, it'd probably take you a year to find out all the images and try to, organize them. You can, and go ahead and right-click over here on the side. We'll right-click, and we'll choose New, and I'll choose Folder, and I'm going to call it My Images. I could call it My Family or whatever. Now you should see this folder down here. It says My Images or whatever you called it. If you double click that, it'll go into that folder. Now my mother has pictures that she left me of her side of the family. So now that I'm in this big white space here, I could right click on it, choose New, Folder, and her last name is Blackburn. So Blackburn Family Photos. I want to right click on the white space again, choose New, Folder, my dad's side of the family. So Hayes Family Photos. I'll right click again. I'll take a lot of pictures of my dogs. I like dogs. So my dogs. And I'll do one more. Right click and choose New, Folder, and take a lot of pictures of my son. Eric. Everybody get folders created? Okay. Now, let's say I really don't care about the Blackburn family photos. I do, but let's say I don't. If I right-click on that, he says the delete option. So you can click delete on that, and that's gone. So that's how you can get rid of it. That's also how you can delete images. You'll notice when you right-click on it, and again, you won't have all these options. You probably don't have Open in Visual Studio, things like that. Some of these you don't really need to worry about. Give access to. You're not going to be doing that. Snagit you won't have. So this is specific to what you have installed on your computer. But you do notice that there's a cut and copy. So if you do put a folder in the wrong place, you can cut it and you can go paste it somewhere else. So let's do that. Highlight one of your folders you created. Doesn't matter which one. Now, if you double click on it by mistake, like if I double click that by mistake, you see across the top here, there was that story with Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel leave a trail of breadcrumbs. That's the principle here, is that you can follow those back to see where you were. They actually, I think, call it breadcrumbs or bread trail, one of the two. But to go back, you just click My Images up here, and it'll go back. Okay, so we wanna right click on something, and we're gonna choose Cut. Now it doesn't look like it did anything, but if you look real close, the folder is kind of dimmed out. And now if I go over to, I want to put my dogs under Eric. So just double click one of your other folders. And now if you right click in the white space, you can choose Paste. Good so far? Now, I don't usually do that. I mentioned earlier that I don't like to do a cut. Let's say you're copying a bunch of images from your hard drive to something you bought at Walmart to plug in, a little portable drive. So you're going to go on vacation, you want to show everybody the pictures. If you cut it here and you go to paste it over here, now I'm not sure about Windows 10, but this did used to work on older versions of the operating system. If you paste it and there's enough space over here, you just lose your images. So they're gone. So it's kind of dangerous. You had to make sure you had enough space and nothing happened in the meantime. That's why I always do an edit copy and I do an edit paste, then I'll go back and delete it. That way I know I'm not going to lose any images. Questions on that so far? Going too fast, or?
I'm not even sure how to make the first one.
Okay, let me show
I
you.
just kind of got lost somewhere.
I'm really glad you mentioned about the cutting, and if there's not enough room, it's all gone, because I didn't know that.
I don't know if that's still true on Windows 10, but previous versions of Windows, it costs headaches now.
Okay, I got this part where I pulled up documents.
Okay.
And I got, let's say, the recipe for that thing. There's recipe.
Okay, and double click that.
Now, where does that go?
It's like its own folder. It's like you created a blank folder.
So where is it at?
It's just underneath your documents.
Documents.
So I can click your documents there. And now you see your recipes folder. So if you want to go in your recipes, you just double click the recipes.
Okay, there's nothing over here.
No.
Okay, so it's in this part here. Okay, that's what. Well, we were talking about having a media file for our genealogy.
Oh, okay.
I guess I was thinking that it would put a separate thing here.
We're going to look at different ways of organizing that on the side. But for now, it's just
okay, well, this I've done.
Okay.
Okay,
The
so
guy
I moved it and everything.
that was teaching our genealogy was teaching us to put a folder and a subfolder of images just for the genealogy.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because being able to organize it is important.
Yeah.
So what package did he teach you in genealogy?
He was teaching us how to do it, and he was using Roots Magic as an example. He also uses Family Tree Maker.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to do that. I just thought.
He said, I think if I remember right, he said Family Tree Maker created an image package, and Roots Magic doesn't. And I'm familiar with Roots Magic, but not. I used to use Family Tree Maker, but got annoyed at it and went to Roots Magic.
Okay.
I upgraded once and it lost a bunch of stuff and that cut it for me, so.
Yeah. Yeah. You like things to be consistent. That's it. I know there's a lot of different places you can put pictures at, but Facebook seems like they've been around forever. And I thought that's going to be a safe place for me to put it. But I'd like to put it in 2 or 3 places. So if this application gets done, and not that my kids and grandkids will really even care about my my grandfather and so forth, but at least history's carrying on some way. 'Cause it seems like when somebody passes away, the son, daughter cares about the pictures, but then the grandchildren really don't. But then, I wish I had pictures way back when of my, family beyond my grandfather. So I have
Somebody may.
what?
Somebody probably does somewhere.
Probably does. Yeah, I have one picture of my great grandfather, and that's it.
Your kids and grandkids may not now, but a lot of times they do later.
That could be. Yeah, that's why you have it in that one place. And I wish, if I could go back in time, I would have recorded all those stories my dad told of fighting in World War II, and had those in video and put those in some kind of place where the whole family can benefit from it. And I think that's a neat part of social media. I think most of the crap they put on there is worthless, but for you to put a picture up there and everybody in your family being able to see it is fantastic. Okay.
That's what I like about it, is being able to keep in touch with family that lives on either coast.
Right.
Then I would save it to recipes. Okay. If I was, say I scanned the recipe that I wanted.
Uh-huh.
And then I wanted to save it, I'd save it in documents, or would I save it in this recipe file?
I'd save in recipes file.
Just save it to recipes.
Right. Like if I click documents here, I have a bad habit. I put a bunch of everything I'm doing in all my classes in this one place.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't find anything. It's just like, well, this is, and especially my naming here, New Unity Project 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I didn't give them meaningful names. So when you name something, give it a meaningful name. That bit me yesterday because I had a student ask me, how do we do these prefabs? And it's just like, I don't remember. We did it earlier in the course, and so then I said, well, this is not gonna be good because I didn't name these. And luckily, the one thing I did name, there's one out here called prefab somewhere. Actually, I named that one, and so that worked out well.
You're talking about where saving it in the recipe files, like you said, give it a meaningful name. Whatever you're going to hunt for it, name it whatever you would hunt for it, and then you can go search for it later.
Right. Don't worry about being, that needs to be short or something. Like if I wanted to rename one of these folders, the recipe one I created, or one of these ones I'll never use again. Let me right click on this and I'll choose rename. This is the project that contains the prefabs example. Now it's like you say, got a really meaningful name, and I can find it. So you're not limited on characters and so forth. You can't put weird characters. Like if you try to put an exclamation, I think it gives you an error. There's some you can put in there, some not. Now over here on the side, now that we've looked at creating some folders, you see to the left of your documents, there's like a little greater than symbol. Greater than symbol?
There.
Maybe?
Up at the top?
No, it's right beside it.
Yeah, to the left of it?
It's like that.
I'm looking at the wrong place.
It's like an arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Arrow,
I see lots of little arrows. All I can see, I'm seeing up there. I don't see any down here.
Oh, it'd be on the left-hand side. Sorry. See when you put your mouse over there? See how they appear?
Yes.
I guess I never noticed that before. They don't appear unless you put your mouse over there.
Yeah, well, that's why I can see.
have this thing here?
Go into your file explorer.
Okay, I did. Went to this.
Okay. Then click one of those. And if you put your mouse over here, oh, they're down here. See the little arrows in it? Greater than symbol? Yeah, click that. That expands it. Did you find it over here?
Are we done with the My Recipes folder?
No, we're gonna play with this more. Okay. So when you do that, this expands it, and you can see that, and they're kind of set in a little bit, so that you can then see what folders you have underneath documents. So if you come down here, you should have a recipes. Where in the world did I do my recipes? Did I rename it?
It's probably under alphabet.
Let me create a new one. I probably renamed it or deleted it or something. Recipes. And if I expand documents, then I should see recipes there somewhere. And we're going to create a chili folder. Now, I've been having you right click in the white space, and that's not bad. But you see up here, if you got your home tab, depending upon your version of Windows, there's a button here that says new folder. So if you don't see the home tab currently selected, click the home tab. And just click new folder up here. And now we'll type chili. Unfortunately, I changed that just so you can charge you a new price for operating system.
Is this where I should go? Is this one? That says new folder, is that what you're saying for us to do?
Oh, this is strange. This is one of those.
Okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. See, this has a new.
They had it minimized so you can see it.
Oh.
Now.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, this is a big slide. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when the students come in here, they go through and really customize it sometimes. I really don't hardly change my look of my windows hardly at all. So after you click the new folder, you can type chili. Now you could either come over here to the recipes and click this little arrow next to it, the little greater than, and then you click the chili there, or you could double click that folder. That's up to you.
Double click the recipe folder?
Right. And then go into your chili, so double click the chili folder. Now we're going to go look up a recipe for chili. So go to your browser, your Internet Explorer, your Chrome, or whatever. What's the best chili I had was my mom's. I think they called it Honest to God chili. Now I'm gonna go to this Irvin Gans chili, but you can go to whatever site you want.
No beans, no tomato?
You find one is no beans, no, or is this one no beans, no tomato?
If it's Urban Gans chili, yeah. So
Huh.
no beans, no tomato.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
No tomatoes. How can you have chili without no tomato?
That's what I'm wondering.
Let's say I want this. The what? I don't know.
Probably some Texan.
Might be allergic to tomatoes.
Says Urban used to be the manager at Prince of Hamburgers on Lemon Avenue in Down.
Now let's say I want to grab this. Different ways you could do it. You could do the screenshots that we did, but this would be pretty wide, wouldn't it? So what you can do is you can come up here in this upper right-hand corner where the little rectangles are. You could resize a window. And that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Because I could take this and I could paste this into Word. All I did is I clicked this that little rectangle up there so I could resize it and make it smaller. So like right now, if it's this big, if you click this the rectangles up here, then that'll make it smaller, and you can grab the side of the window. If you put your mouse over, it becomes a double arrow. You click and hold down, and you can resize it. Oh, you're fine. And actually, that's fine right there for the sample.
Just like that, okay.
Yeah, because we're going to capture this part of the screen right here.
Okay. This stuff must be hot.
You know, there begins.
Yeah. 7 tablespoons of ground chili peppers.
Oh, chili.
Of course, you have to have something, I suppose, if you...
And cayenne and cinnamon.
Now, 2 ways you can copy this. One is if you just want to copy the text, you can click with your left mouse button and drag and select all the text like that. Now, even though there's no buttons up here telling me how to copy it, how do I copy it to my clipboard? You can do that, or Control-C. Control-C would just copy what we have selected. We're gonna do that what you said in just a minute, though. That's perfect. You're ahead of me. Oh no, that's good. So I just did a Control-C to copy to the clipboard. Now I'm gonna bring up Word because I don't have Word. So I'm gonna bring up Word. Click Blank Document. And now I'm gonna click the Paste up here. And mine looks horrible. It didn't even come in. Another useful thing in Windows is Control-Z. Control-Z undoes whatever. So whatever you've done, if you want to undo it, do a Control-Z. So I'm going to do a Control-Z to undo that. See, hold on your control. Press your Z one time. I think because you have this selected. Just click in there. There you go. That do control Z. And then keep going. There you go. You can't screw anything up on Windows. Besides that copying and pasting where there isn't a space, Control Z undoes everything. And multiple Control Z's undoes multiple things. That didn't work very well to copy that, did it? Like you said, there's another way to copy this, isn't there? If I did the Alt print screen. Now if I come over here and paste that, that looks a lot better.
You still highlight everything.
No.
Oh, you don't?
Alt print screen, it captures just whatever's on your current window.
Oh,
And keeps that size even. But it comes in as an image. There's a couple of real popular recipe websites you can go to where you can type in recipes. But if it's a picture like this, then people can't do searches on it. So a little bit of a, but it looks good. Keeps the same format as the web page. Okay, now that I've created this, I'm going to save this. And this isn't Word class, but we're going to do the file. I click the file up here. That's in the upper left-hand corner. And I'll choose Save.
you must save or save that.
Save. If it's your first time saving a Word document, you do a save. If you're saving as a different name, that's what the save as is. Now you see there's a Browse button here. If I click the Browse, this probably looks a little bit familiar, doesn't it? Isn't this the same as the File Explorer we were just looking at? And you should see a Documents over here. If you click the little arrow, a little greater than next to the Documents, I'll expand that. I'm looking for recipes. Here's recipes, so I can expand that. Here's chili. So if I finally click the chili, is that a good name to give it? Horrible name. Doc 1, will I ever know what that is?
No.
No, and I'm real bad about that. I'm real bad about saving it like that, and then all of a sudden I got 500 docs out there, and it's like, what in the world? So I'm going to call this Irvin Gans Chili, and maybe I'll make myself a little bit of note too. I'll put a dash here, and I'll say no tomatoes. So if I'm trying to browse through, trying to find something that would catch my interest, something different, that would maybe catch my eye. And then I'll click Save. This would be the same with images. If you're capturing images off the internet and you're saving them, and we'll look at that here in just a minute, you want to give it meaningful names. Did I save it okay? Maybe want to save your Word document.
Is that your recipe?
I'm lost.
You'll be sure you have, like you do with your Word. Or just click over here. And I do a go up to home. Well, click it again. I think you got a different version of Word. Okay. click the little icon up there in the upper left. Or, yeah, that worked there. You do a save. And we're under documents, so that's fine. You can save that. I don't think you have any folders yet. So just give it a name, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's fine. And then just click the save button there.
And did it save as a type? Do you put like recipes? Or what? And I've got
No.
chili, I named it chili from the internet. Now what do I do with it? But just,
You're fine. Just put the save button in the bottom right.
and it'll go over there?
Yeah, or you can press enter.
Okay.
I got that other recipe, but see, it didn't have the recipe on it. It looked like this, but, okay, now maybe it's gonna be.
So go ahead and close that. The little X on that window there. Okay, so let's say we want to capture this. So hold on your Windows Shift S. Okay. Now click with your mouse up like right here. Hold down the left mouse button and drag it until it fills up.
Right,
Oh, to the right. And then to the right. And that has all the stuff there.
Yeah.
So then let up. And now that's copied to your clipboard. So go over to Word now. If you don't see Word down there, oh yeah, there is. And we got some garbage there.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah, just press delete it. Right there over and over. You can hold down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then do your backspace. Backspace right here. There you go. And now we're going to paste that in. So click your paste. And now we're going to save that. So. And we're going to choose our browse. That'll take us to our same folders that we looked at before. Click here to where it's a double arrow. Like on the edge. Down a little bit. Down more. And it's kind of tricky. Right there.
Oh, there.
And click and hold down and drag. So it'll be bigger so you can see.
Oh, okay.
There. You can even do that on the side over here if you ever need to make this a window.
Then.
And you can just double click on recipes over there. And then double click on chili. And then down here in your file name, this is where you'd probably set crock pot chili or something. And then click the save button or press it. Either way. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So all you have to do is highlight that. Of course, anyway.
Now imagine you do this to 200 recipes. You love chili. Now go ahead and close your chili here so you can do your file and choose close. So again, under the file over here, then I'm choosing close. Or you can simply click the X in the upper right hand corner. That's your choice. Now we're going to go back to our File Explorer. And if you look in your chili folder, you now have a file here. Mine says Irvin Gans chili, no tomatoes. Now I'm going to go back to my internet browser, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, whatever you're using. And I'm going to go to a website that's called google.com. So you should see it looks like this. And I'm going to type Pink Panther. Pink Panther has never failed me yet. And I press enter. Now once you do that, there's an images option up here. So you see right here, it says images, it says all videos, images, shopping, news, more. If you click the images, comes up this. When I say it's never failed me, it never has brought up like anything inappropriate in class. I'm afraid I'll type something in here that'll bring up something inappropriate for everybody to see. Pink Panther's never done that. Everybody get to the images? Let's say you're creating you create a lot of bulletins for your church. And you want to create a document. You want to put like an image on there that catches people's eyes, or you're the center you go to, or whatever you're involved with. To save off images, if you click this image here, it'll bring up the full size image. So if I click one of them, it'll bring up the big version of that. Now at that point, you can right click on it and you can say save image as. So I'm going to say save image as. And notice what it pops up with again. It comes up with the same file folder system we've been looking at. And so if you come over to your documents and then double click recipes, not that this is a recipe, but you get the idea. Double click chili. And it's got a different default name here. Pink Panther illustration comedy cartoon. That's good enough for me. So I'm going to leave that alone. And you don't need to change the name of that unless you want to. And then I'll click save.
It's just down here then. Down low.
Oh, that's if you click it one time, it'll just download it to your downloads folder.
Okay.
So you don't need to worry about that.
Did you say then copy the image?
Right click on it and say save image as. And we want to change it to documents. So click documents and double click your recipes. Then double click chili. And you can leave it that default name if you want. Just click save.
And it should be there.
On yours, just click your documents. And then double click recipes. You can expand it over there, or if you want to just scroll down here and find recipes, that's up to you. Either way is fine. And then double click that. There you go. And double click chili. And then click save. You get it saved? In case you're wondering, if you don't want to save the image, I quit saving images way back when because there are tons available every day on the internet. There's no use to save them. I don't know if I thought the internet was going to fail or what. If I wanted to take this over into Microsoft Word and to create a flyer, all you do is right-click on it, and you see there's a copy image. Then if I were to go over to Word, create a new document, and do a paste, it'll paste that image directly in there. Again, the beauty of the control panel is such that it's very easy to copy those. Now, I'm still waiting for the day, and I haven't tried it in the version 10, but I'm looking for the day when I can right-click on this and say Copy Image, and then go over to this folder and do a right-click and choose Paste, and it'll actually create the JPEG for me, but it doesn't yet because there's no paste option here. Okay, now go back to your File Explorer. And you probably don't see the extensions on the end here. They're shut off by default. Some of your computers may have it turned on, some don't. Up here, you see there's a File, Home, Share, and View that we've been talking about. Click the View option. And you see there's one that says File Name Extensions. That's over here under the Show Hide. We want that to be checked. We want to see file name extensions. Never want to shut those off. Now that I have that selected, I may not be able to see all of my name on here. How you can get around that is if you put your mouse up here between the two titles, it becomes a double arrow with a line. If I click and hold down, I can resize that. So again, I went between name and date modified, and I moved my mouse until it became a double black arrow with a line in between it. Clicked with my left mouse button, held down, and moved it.
What are you in now?
File Explorer. So go back to File Explorer.
What is File Explorer?
Oh, that's that little folder looking. Or you can just simply in here type here to search. You can type File Explorer. Now, once you're there, click your View tab up here. And then you can choose the file name extensions. You can mark those. Now, what this tells us, you see this says this is a DOCX on the end of it? That's a Word document, which means that it recognizes it's a Word document. I don't have to go into Word to open this. If I'm in File Explorer and I want to open up Irvin Gann's chili, no tomatoes, I simply double click on this and it'll open up in Word for me. So it's smart enough to recognize what application it's associated with. So I double click that. Let me get out of that. Go back to File Explorer. Our other one is a .jpg. If I double click that, it'll bring up my image. It knows it's an image because it's in with JPG.
No, it says open, so I just hit open that.
Mm-hmm. It'll open with the default application then. So that's how it knows, based upon what that ending is. DOC, DOCX is Word, Excel is XLS, XLSX. You don't need to worry about knowing those. It's just important to know that it associates those. When you receive an email, have you ever received an attachment on your email? You should almost never click an attachment. My wife has heard me lecture her so much about it. She'll get these attachments. Her friends will send her these cute little videos, and she'll click on them and so forth. And I said, no, quit doing this. Quit clicking on these attachments. I said, if you want to watch something humorous, go in the back and watch the TV. Watch some comedy. That's how they send you viruses. So they'll send you an attachment. And there's only one safe attachment, and that's with a TXT ending. And that's a notepad because it doesn't have anything additional to it. They can put a virus in a JPEG. They can put a virus in an EXE. They can put a virus in a doc file. Have you ever went into like a Word document and asked you, do you want to enable something? Usually that's safe to do, but not necessarily. They say the only time you should click on an attachment is if you're expecting it. If you receive something from your son, daughter, text them, call them up, say, hey, did you just send me something? And if they say yes, then open it up. If you were talking with somebody on the phone and they'll say, I'll send you a receipt, and you just receive the email, open it up. That's fine. But again, if you're sending something you're not expecting it, don't open it. I got caught myself on that, almost. I was really close. We received a PDF document, which is a type of file from the president of the college. And he said that I need you to review this important policy document. I'm like, and I should know better. I teach computer science. I'm starting to, I got in the preview window and I'm about to double click on it. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Why would he be sending me? I don't even think he uses email. I think his administrative assistant sends emails for him. And then I got looking at the email address, and it wasn't from a Cali account. Somebody was pretending to be the president of the college. And they got my friend teaches math at the Mulvane Center. He actually opened it up. They captured some of his passwords and so forth. So if you're using email, again, it's never a good idea to open an attachment, not unless you're expecting it. It's usually never a good idea to click on a link. Like if they send you a link saying your account's been compromised, click here so you can go and do whatever. Don't click those. Because what they do is they take you to another site that looks exactly like that web page. So you think you're on PayPal or you think you're on Facebook or whatever, and you're signing in. You're actually giving them all your sign-in information. Some of you have sign-ins to different websites, I'm assuming. Do you have different passwords? Sometimes, yeah. You're probably like me. You use the same password for 10 different sites, right? So it just takes you one time, give your password away, and they'll go and try it on all 100 different sites and see which ones it works on. It's actually better to have different passwords, and again, I'm a big violator of that, and to have it written down on a piece of paper. Because a hacker can send you a link that you can click on that'll give that away, but is that hacker going to be able to get that piece of paper in your house? No. So even though it doesn't sound very secure, my son has some passwords. I have him. He has it taped on his closet wall. And that's fine. Nobody's going to come in there and steal his passwords, but hackers will do things like that. Um, by these extensions here, if you have those turned on, sometimes you can see if it's a file you shouldn't even be clicking on. An exe is an example of one. It's an executable. So that'll infect your computer a lot of times if it's one of those type of malware. Okay. Now we looked at renaming folders and deleting. You can also rename these. So over here, if I don't like how this Pink Panther JPEG is named, I can right click on it and I can choose rename and give it a different name. So I'll call it Pink Panther and then press enter. This really throws a lot of people when they're working with File Explorer. They click something by accident, they do some kind of keystroke, and I couldn't even tell you what the keystroke is. I just know that it has happened to me quite a few times. Up here under the View tab, you see there's a layout option, and there's extra large icons, small icons, tiles, large icons, lists, content. On yours, you may not even see the words. I've seen it where they don't even have the words. But if you click extra large icons, this gives you a preview of what's in the file. So if you haven't named them correctly, this is where you can bring up 500 images that you've saved with not very meaningful names, and you can get a preview. Small icons, you don't get the preview. Tiles looks like that. Large icons, list, content, and most important of all, the medium icons, but the most important of all is the details. I almost always have it set to details. Let's say you have a folder at home that you've saved every file from the beginning of time on, and you haven't ever named them, you haven't created folders or anything to organize them. You see there's an option here that says date modified. If I click the date modified title here, it'll sort it by date modified, which means my newest files appear at the top. So if I saved something a month ago, I can easily find it. That is so useful when you got a lot of files. I only have 2 files here, and they both were saved about the same time, so you don't really see the power of it. I'm going to show it to you on mine, though.
Well, if you clicked on it, there's a calendar, isn't there? That little check mark.
Oh, you mean the side here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can even do ranges. Like if you want to select a date or date range, so that you only find files that are created during a certain time frame, you can do that. So yeah, it's a lot more than just sorting by that. But like under my documents, right here, I've saved everything from the beginning of this year, from last August. If I click the date modified here, and then I have to go up, the newest items that I've just created are these up here at top. So this is a sales that I created a database for another class. So I can easily find that. Your oldest items, of course, are clear at the bottom. These are the ones I created back in August. Some people use this as a way to clean up their files. So you got these old files out here you know you don't want from August. You can come down here, you can right click on these. Like I know I don't want that. I can right click on it and choose delete. Everybody good on what date modified does?
Now, if you clicked on it to delete it and you got, oops, I shouldn't have, can you get it back?
Up here, if I close all these windows, and by the way, I can't show it to you, But if you put your mouse in the very bottom right here and you click that button, it shows you the desktop. I can't show it to you because that's where my recorder is. But if you get back to your desktop, you see how there's a recycle bin here?
Mm-hmm.
If you double click the recycle bin, that's where you'll find it. So if you did,
It's still there.
it's still there.
Well, some computers, if you clicked on it, you've lost them permanently. So.
There is a way to delete them permanently. You just have to hold down your shift key when you choose to delete, and that deletes it permanently. Because sometimes, like if your computer's running out of memory, and you think, oh, I'll start deleting files, and you delete them, you're right. It puts them up into the recycle bin. You haven't freed up any space because it's still taking up the same amount of space. That way, if you hold down your shift key when you do your delete, it deletes it permanently. So. And I don't, to be honest, I don't know. I right-clicked on the recycle bin. I'm going to choose properties. I don't know how to set when to clean them. Oh, right here. You're asking some computers delete immediately. When I right-clicked on the recycle bin and chose properties, there's a setting right there. It says don't move files to recycle bin. Remove files immediately when deleted. Mm-hmm. That's why that computer you're talking about is removing them completely right away. So if your computer at home, I guess, is deleting it right away, then you can come here and uncheck this and choose custom size. Now it looks like mine's set for maximum size, which means when it exceeds this, that's when it must start deleting files. So. There's one other thing I wanted to look up. Windows 10 screen capture to a file. Because you were asking how can you save it to a file without using the tool. The tool is the best way because you can save it to whatever you want. Snipping tool, print screen, Windows plus print screen. To capture your entire screen, automatically save the screenshot. Here it is. So if you press your Windows and then print screen, it'll save it into pictures, screenshots. So like if I wanted to capture this real quick and dirty, didn't want to really spend any time on it, I just do my Windows print screen. It did a little dim there. And now if I go to my File Explorer, and it's not under Documents now, it's under Pictures. You see there's a Screenshots folder. And this is where it'll be at. Okay. It'll be saved as JPEG. That's not the same as your clipping tool. Clipping tool, you can specify which part of the screen. And I'm going to do some research for next time to see if you can do the same thing with the keystrokes. But.
Okay, I'm not so sure that the snipping tool doesn't give you a better image.
Oh, does it?
I think it might.
Could be. I won't argue that.
I don't know for sure. But it seems more clear to me.
Is there any questions on anything we covered today? Oh, we're out of time. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Next time we'll continue. I got more to show you in the File Explorer, and we'll look at some more of the features of Windows 10. Again, if there's anything specific you want to know, then let me know. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it or research it. Not for next time, because next time's our last time. But
I have to think of some questions.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we had enough.